Legal notice. Legal notice is a formal written communication between the two parties. The parties are a aggrieved party, sender, receiver. Sender, aggrieved party, sends notice to the receiver. Sender notifies the recipient about his intention of understanding the legal proceedings against the letter. It is considered to be a warning to the receiver before going to make court proceedings. It is a last chance to the receiver to settle the matter. Court proceedings is a very long time procedure and expensive, cost effective also. The two things should be controlled by sending the legal notice to the receiver. With this legal notice, there is a chance to settle the matter between the parties through the negotiations, through the mediation, through the arbitration. Like this way, the matter should be settled with this legal notice. When such kind of situations, the legal notice should be sent to the receiver. Situations are number one, consumer forums. If there is buying and selling goods or services, if there is any kind of deficiency, there is such kind of deficiencies should be rectified by sending the legal notice. Number two, property matters. Property matters, disputes between the relatives, partition, succession, eviction, issues, any breach of contract between the parties. At the time, we send a legal notice to the receiver. Next, number three, default in repayment of loans, debt recovery proceedings under Securities Enforcement of Securities Interest Act 2002 to default for a recovery of payment. When the loans are not repaid in proper time, in sufficient terms, conditions would not be followed. At the time, we send a legal notice to the receiver. Next, number four, check bouncing cases. Check bouncing cases. Check bouncing cases means dishonor of check. The aggrieved party, sender, sends legal notice to the receiver. If there is no sufficient funds, if there is no sufficient conditions, rules and regulations, terms, and if there is no proper time to settle the matter, at the time we send a legal notice to the receiver by the sender, aggrieved party. Number five, recovery of money. from a person, legal notice is a effective tool to recover the money. What kind of money is given to the receiver by the sender? Sent money and sufficient time would not be accepted by the receiver. The breach of agreement, breach of contract is not to be fulfilled. At the time, we issue notice to the receiver by the sender. Number 6, employer and employee matters. Employee deprived of his service and salary matters also. If there is any disturbances with the salary, legal notice should be sent by the employee to the employer. Like the same way, if there is no proper breach of agreement, insufficient work there is, at that time also employer sends notice to the about his deprivation and about his salary. Like that way, both sends notices one to another. What is the essentiality of the notice? The essentiality, the legal notice should be sent only in civil matters only. The legal notice would not send in a criminal matter. What kind of initiations there is? What is the actions is going to be instituted by the state against the person committing offense? The legal notice should be sent and to the receiver. And however, if there is any kind of initiations by the government in civil matters, the government send notices to the public people. Some notices are sent by the government. If the government is not fulfilled the conditions, what kind of agreements there is with the government and the public people, the people also sends notices to the government to fulfill the conditions to fulfill the matter before going to the court. Like that way, both parties sends notice one another, government and public, people. The requirements of a legal notice. What is the requirement of a legal notice? If there is a property disputes, if there is a consumer complaints and check bouncing cases, divorce cases, termination of employment on wrongful grounds, eviction, if debt, liability or obligation is not fulfilled within the prescribed time limit. It may also act as the last chance to the accuser. Accuser means the receiver. Here. Before beginning with the court proceedings, with this legal notice, we give last chance to the accused receiver. Like this way, the proper requirements are to be fulfilled. Elements of the legal notice. What are the main elements of legal notice we see here? Elements. Section 80 CPC 1908 filed in civil cases only. Intimation carries as to the accused with this legal notice. The information, what kind of information is going to be established, the court proceedings are going to be followed in future. Such kind of intimation should be given to the accused person, receiver. Here, number one, legal notice is a precise statement and facts relating to the aggrieved party. Aggrieved party, what kind of actions are going to be taken by this? Such kind of actions to be mentioned in the legal notice. Number two, this is a legal notice is a alternative relief sought by the grieving party. This is a legal notice is a alternative relief to the accused to settle the matter. And number three, what kind of facts are mentioned in this legal notice? Such kind of summary of facts, the ways of the grievances could be solved by this legal notice. And number four, the legal notice, a complaint, a complete brief of the problems the aggrieved party is facing, combined with what can be done to resolve the issues, need to be clearly mentioned. What kind of issues are agreed before such kind of issues, brief facts should be mentioned in the legal notice. And number five, what kind of accounts are maintained? What kinds of accounts, detailed accounts there is between the two parties? The accounts should be mentioned in the legal notice. Mutually agreed before. The agreements should be mentioned in the legal notice clearly. The accounts, amounts, interest, and some other facts of the accounts completely mentioned in the legal notice. Repayment and whatever there is Such kind of all activities are mentioned in this legal notice. Like that way, the legal notice is going to be fulfilled the conditions between the two parties.